So obviously this is a rubber bullet.
A rubber will do the same.
So this
damage.
isn't gonna. Well, it doesn't have the same kind of force behind it. So
oh, it's not the force is gonna break shatter your ribs.
Down, but
that's
what it should
you
do.
You might break a couple ribs, but if you get hit with
that.
You know what I'm saying? The real deal, your whole
maybe
joint is gone.
But maybe you're knowing that I'm not potentially gonna murder anyone who's intruding on.
How do you know that? You can shoot him with that rubber thing. He goes in cardiac arrest and he's done.
Chance of it.
You better man up. You out here doing good.
No, man up and murder. No, you better man up, just headshot everybody, bro. Safest way to go about it.
You want to hold this one?
Why is it always some old black and white boy telling us young fellas that we ain't relevant in a world that embellishes like a relative content from these elements? You call them stars, I call them settlements, cause they didn't settle for settlements built in a steady sediment. Ashes from the already crashed and burned dust from past residents. So I can feel it in my bones, I'm feeling in the zone. More when I'm on the way, but the same when I'm feeling home. So I'm comfortable, I know you are too. Me and Powers R1D2, Star Wars Harvest Moon Feast Food. But please don't come peaceful, but kill that noise if it's at all equal. I tell you what, man, let's make it equal. So I can show you the math, but I don't do sequels. Instead, I'ma use physics to determine how we move. Use ethics to perspective our objectives. Because our efforts to fulfill our destinies, the universe expected. So we gotta fight back, take the night back, take our lives back. Our efforts must be twice that of our enemies. Revolution imminent, but I'd rather die making noise than just sitting here.
Welcome to
yet
another episode of the SquadKast podcast.
Hey y'all,
How we doing? How we doing, everybody?
Y'all better
So you got some new chucks on?
No, actually, it's funny that you said that.
Those look spiffy too,
I actually
brother.
predicted this conversation
Yeah.
because I said I'm gonna put these baby blues on, and someone's gonna say, "Oh, hey, look at your nice new shoes." These shoes are like 4 years old, man. Second time I ever wore them, man. Okay?
Good job.
Just had to bust them out.
Take care of your shoes,
I got some
people.
donkey cactus ones almost.
Okay.
So
Stop.
I'm not prepared to wear them.
Stop hitting licks in
I've
the
only had
Air
them for 6
Forces.
months. I like to wear my keep
your
them
shoes
around
right.
12 months before I do something to them. So.
We're glad to have y'all back with us. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? All 186 subscribers. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Junkyard Gang. All Laugh No Breaks. Them brothers are doing big things over
Killing
there.
it over
You know
there.
what I'm saying?
It's
Killing it over
hilarious.
there. King of the shorts. I keep saying it. King of the shorts. You know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. So shout out to the whole Junkyard Gang and everybody over there. Y'all know who y'all are. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Everybody, there's so many people. Now we got so many guests.
We're just gonna say Junkyard Gang.
right.
The gang.
So, the gang.
The gang.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a gang of them.
I got a new one dropping tomorrow. Oh, well, Friday, I guess. It depends on. Yesterday it dropped, so when you're seeing this, yesterday it would have dropped. Go watch and see it.
Yeah.
So.
Hit the notifications, hit the like button. We appreciate all that. Help out the algorithm.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. We do
suggestion,
reply.
anything.
You know, all that good stuff. Make sure you check out them Wolf on Wall Streets. I'll be giving y'all the game. Shout out Smith & Wesson stock. I love y'all. I'm paid.
He said he's gonna give me some money.
I mean, you know, if you can't beat them, join them, I guess. It's an old adage there, you know what I'm saying? So, that was the big question. Are guns going anywhere in America anytime soon?
I'm going to give you my logic on why I bought into that stock,
Yeah,
why
please.
I recommended that stock along with the other one, Ruger. I know the feds, the government is trying to not necessarily take away firearms, just strengthen the laws to make firearms less easy accessible to those who shouldn't have them.
True. Right.
So with that
on its face sounds
right.
Okay, right.
With on its face sounds okay.
Just tell you what it
and
is.
then me being the astute observer that I am, I started looking at the trends, researching how much profit they was making every quarter, and I looked at the market cap, and I'm looking at what's going on. We're still in the pandemic. Actually, it's starting to get a little bit worse with these different strains going around. We'll get into that later on the show. Shout out to everybody that's vaccinated. And then,
Here we are.
Twitching this shit ever since.
But,
y'all ain't got right.
so once I seen everything was looking good, I went ahead and grabbed me a disclosed amount of shares of Smith & Wesson, and I bought in at $25 a share. It's almost at $35 right now, so I'm $10 up on every share.
I mean, I can't lie. I feel like I'm getting this much closer to purchasing a firearm myself.
You just said you're gonna get a Smith & Wesson knife. I mean, for all the outdoors you out here doing with your Bear Grylls.
Knife ain't gonna always help you.
So, I just have so many
get a
other
machete, bro.
What if it don't come out?
I just got so many that are just like the toys at this point. If I keep buying them, so Maybe this time I
That's how I feel about my
I did
pieces,
just
you know
see
what I'm saying?
a self-defense CO2 gun that shoots 50 cal rubber bullets and like mace bullets and shit like that.
For
So
starters.
it looks cool, you know. It looks, you know, but I don't know if it's really.
and shit. It ain't gonna hurt him and kill him.
I don't know.
A 50
Yeah.
cal?
Yeah.
Let me give you a little
I mean,
bit
it's a
of
big
research
old,
on
it's a
that.
big old fat ass.
Let me give y'all a little bit.
Big
We're
ass,
not
big-
promoting
big ass
firearms.
rubber bullet.
I just want to let you know
We
that right
can.
now. But, oh shit.
We can.
But when I went to the gun expo, and I'm talking to the guy that got all the body armor and the vest and all that shit, right?
It's a start.
And he was like, yeah, man, you know, this Kevlar top of the line, you know, about $300 to $500, you know, this is the best you're gonna get. He said it'll stop at 50 cal. He said, now your ribs is gonna be shattered,
Right.
but you're gonna live. You might be out of commission for a couple months because all your shits is jello, but you're gonna live. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have that, you're done.
Right.
Bro, have y'all seen The Accountant when he was shooting that 50 cal rifle?
Right.
Taking them people.
Yeah.
Bro,
That's what
hey.
it just.
So that
So,
whole truck-
so obviously this is a rubber bullet.
A rubber will do the same
So this
damage.
isn't gonna. Well, it doesn't have the same kind of force behind it. So
Oh,
definitely
it's not the force is gonna break
hit you
shatter
and
your
possibly knock you
ribs.
down, but
You
right,
might-
that's what it should
you
be.
might break a couple ribs, but if you get
I'll
hit
take
with
that.
you know what
I'll
I'm
take
saying, the real deal, your whole joints is gone.
But maybe I think that I could rest easier knowing that I'm not potentially gonna murder anyone who's, you know, intruding on
How do
my
you know
space.
that? You can shoot him with that
Well, I
rubber
have
thing.
less of
He
an
goes
option.
in cardiac
Less of
arrest
a-
and he's done.
Less of a chance of it
You better
happening,
man
so.
up. You out here in the
No, man up and murder.
the wilderness.
No, you better man up, just headshot everybody, bro.
Here,
Safest way to
you
go
wanna
about
hold
it.
this one, Chef? You wanna hold this one, Chef?
I've held plenty of guns. That's not the problem. It's
No,
just
that's
about
not what I meant.
Don't have
being
to
safe, you know,
Don't
in
put the
general.
clip in.
So
Clip
the
in.
reason I don't have one is because I could just see myself being at the crib,
Getting your little lane on and then
watching my
shooting yourself
YouTube
and
and
shit.
oh shit.
So you take the bullets out.
Yeah, no, I don't need to
Make
go to
sure
play with it.
it's not
What he's
Winner
trying to
was
say,
it.
what he's trying to say is he don't want to be Will Ferrell and the other guys, and he do a death
Basically,
pop. You know what I'm
next thing you
saying?
know, I got a wood gun I'm carrying around as punishment. Okay, I don't need that type of pressure.
He don't need that kind of pressure.
We're gonna stick to the
So, when,
Smith and
so
Wesson knife.
either way, like I said, if you can't beat them, join them, make a little money.
Make a little money.
Make a little
Make a little money. Yo, it's been so much going on in the world today, but I have to say this first. If you
Please.
don't,
Please.
they didn't free the man.
Look, man,
They didn't freeze
listen,
the
man.
man.
I was
Yo,
wondering if we should even bring this up.
I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up.
This shit right here, man.
They didn't free Bill Cosby.
I can't even believe
He
it.
is out right
On
now
a
after 2
technicality. They
years.
freed him on a technicality. They freed him
Well,
because
hey.
testimony he
Black man
gave
got done
in a civil
wrong.
suit was used
And-
to
and
prosecute
due to
him, even though
technicality.
they agreed it wasn't going to be used to prosecute him. And the judge just agreed with it, like, yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
You show how it shows how bogus the legal
Yeah,
system
man.
is. Period.
Yeah. I mean, there is no hashtag #MeToo movement. There is no
What happened to
protection
that?
of women.
Hold
in
on.
this
What
country.
happened to the Me
You
Too
know what
movement? It's
happened
out
to it?
because we have obviously a female panelist.
Oh, we know what happened to
And
that. We know.
like
We
all
know
of a
what happened
sudden,
to that.
you know, Jeffrey Epstein kills himself.
Mm-hmm.
What
Did
was
he
it?
kill
Well, whatever.
Did he?
And what's the
Kill
other dude?
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey
Yeah.
Weinstein. Nobody's heard about him
They got-
since he
they
got
got
in trouble. Then you know, but the whole big thing was Bill Cosby.
Right.
You know, them other guys kind of fell under the radar a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
And now
I
Bill
want to say
Cosby is
Weinstein's
out.
still locked up. I remember Googling something just to see. He didn't get no whole lot of time, but I have to look it up again and bring it up, put it in the comments.
Then you got the one congressman, Matt whatever. I forget
Man,
his,
that's the one that showed himself, or I don't even know.
I forget his name, but he out here just doing the most out in Florida,
Fucking,
paying for underage
the reason the
girls
hashtag
and all
#MeToo
that.
movement is dead is because the Democrats killed it. Okay?
Oh.
Democrats killed it. They took a knife and stabbed it in its back, all right? When
Nope.
Joe Biden got accused of his sexual inappropriateness
I
with
see.
very credible allegations, well worth just looking into,
Biden slander. Here
they
it
did
comes.
the exact opposite they did to everyone else on the right who complained
So
about
what happened?
abusive
What
women
happened?
power.
What happened with your man's Trump and all his
The same thing.
accusers?
Same thing.
and they had
remember?
overwhelming
And
evidence.
and remember,
Sheffin likes to say
remember, you know,
overwhelming.
absolutely. And remember what the Democrats did? They tried their damnedest to get rid of this man. They tried to impeach him twice, I think, but at least thought about it the second time for sure.
The second time
they did do it.
The second time the impeachment came because of the insurrection on the Capitol.
And then when it came to their own, they were like, oh, well, hey.
Well, that was the Republican. That was your
president.
people that did that. That was
no. Well, I'm not.
Mitch McConnell's
These
of
are
the
not.
world. You know
So
what I'm saying? I'm name dropping.
no. So the problem is this: that the Republicans are bad guys and the Democrats are bad guys, and the Democrats helped finish off the goddamn hashtag Me Too movement as soon as Joe Biden, their guy, their ace.
What happened to the Me Too movement?
The binary movement started. I'm sorry. That's
The binary movement thing, you think it overshadowed it, huh? This
it even overtook the LG. At first, they was hollering the LGBT thing. You don't even hear about that. It's all about the binary thing. I'm just saying, they don't want a title.
That's a good point.
Come on, brother. I just watched the whole hour of ESPN about the binary. I don't want to say it wrong if she, binary person. But yeah, it was
non-binary maybe.
Non-binary.
Either way, the point is, you don't have to know the terms. You just have to respect the people, and that's what we're doing.
Well,
Hold on. I need Godmama to give her perspective. I need her to give her perspective because she's the queen of the set.
The Me Too movement.
What happened to
Refresh my beverage.
Because that Me Too movement was so strong, women were so empowered. All the women were coming out saying, "Yeah, I was a victim of this. I was, this happened to me," and then all of a sudden it just died out of nowhere.
Well, I could say because nobody gives a fuck.
That makes sense.
Possibly because I don't know, us women, we don't, have that credibility like men do.
But y'all rule the world though.
We do. Look, some men don't look at us like that. They just like, she was such, she probably liked it. But and then there's still people that's still scared to come out. So it's just this didn't go nowhere. So then they, you shut back down. So speak up.
I agree with what Godmama said, but I also agree with you guys too. I think with that and then a combination of new shit happening, you know what I'm saying? Because the Black Lives Matter movement was so heavy at one point. I mean, that kind of somewhat died down after the George Floyd thing, you know what I'm saying? And shout out Chauvin, 22 years. We see you with that Emmitt Smith. Enjoy. You should have got longer, but whatever.
But yeah,
we'll see.
Piggyback off that.
RIP to your little hoo-hoo hot.
Do you think with we were just talking about the Me Too movement,
right?
And I lost my question. I just had it too.
It was the brew.
No, it's not the brew. We was talking about the binary thing, of course, and then
we was talking about how it faded out, possibly due to new movements coming in.
Okay, so the Bill Cosby thing. So do you think people should be in arms that people? It's not. I'm not saying that you're celebrating that Bill Cosby was free, but some people are.
No, I am celebrating Bill Cosby.
Okay, so you're celebrating.
I'm celebrating that he's free
people on social media, whatever,
of a lot of different reasons. I'm not gonna. I mean, bro, if a black man is able to get out on a technicality that we don't normally get, kudos to you.
Look,
we don't get them.
Now I totally.
That's where I'm coming from.
I feel exactly.
I'm not negating anything that he was accused of doing and all that other stuff. I'm not talking about
we
that.
We know about that. So
I'm talking about this.
W, it makes sense.
That's what I'm talking about.
But this is a bad thing for the black community.
That's what I'm going on.
Honest, as a whole, it is.
We have
even if we won here in this legal system, what there is still a grave injustice.
It's still going to cause a divide between us as a whole.
Right now, I do struggle.
I just want to say that there could be a legitimate argument that Bill Cosby didn't get the justice he deserved in his trial, especially with women recanting their stories and all type of stuff.
I can definitely.
But I'm not sitting here and saying that he's not guilty. I'm pretty sure that something did happen.
He admitted as much. That's
right.
Why
That's
he
what I'm
was in jail
saying.
for the one
But I'm saying, like, the way they was coming at him, it was just like, it was crazy. It was just one after another after another. It's like, hold on now.
Because
y'all just this really happened, or y'all just jumping on the bandwagon.
I'm not saying those individuals.
How can you be defending this racist?
That's just
person that he did that shit to all the women that said that. Like, come on.
Janice Dickinson was one of the main ones that kept saying that he did this and he did it to me, and then I'll be damned if she recanted everything and said none of that happened. And she was one of the main ones, most well-known accusers of that man.
I could definitely understand that, but it was like 70 plus women when it was all said.
How many people?
So even if just one of them has to be true.
Look at it as
and
if
Bill
he
Cosby
did do it.
He admitted to doing it.
Got out.
That's why he was in
and
jail.
all those
They used
women
his civil case testimony.
took that, that leap of faith to say this man did do this because they didn't want to come out. This man got money. He got lawyers. He could fight some shit. You know what I'm saying? So if one woman could come out, maybe I can. But I mean, I feel them.
70 women though.
But I feel
and out of the 70, how many was legitimately incredible?
Maybe that
at least one was. At least one.
Not even 70. Out of 70, okay, one.
At least, and that's good enough.
But the point I'm trying to make is the other 69 is bullshit.
How many times did it happen with each individual?
It doesn't even matter. One time, we gotta be reality. We gotta think about our daughters and our.
So why they throw Bill Cosby under the bench and then gave Jeffrey Weinstein or whatever his name is so little time, and he had way more accusers, way more well-known actresses accusing him of such things.
He tried to pay to get out.
Franco,
for sure.
Said I'll pay you $1 million to let me about this.
Everybody be canceled for that kind of shit, and this motherfucker out here just free willy-nilly.
Sex trafficking is a high-paid
It's at an
industry.
all-time high, right? It's
I
crazy
feel
too.
like it ain't took serious.
Oh,
I mean,
It's
if
not
Bill Cosby
very
being released from jail is the fact that it's not taken serious.
So that's why a lot of women still hide.
It's bigger than Bill Cosby.
And I think it's revealing that his lawyers got him out of jail based on a technicality, not because they entered in new evidence, not because they could prove the girl was lying, not because she recanted her story. They got
The
him out of jail.
lawyer has their job to do. If they can get their client out and he's paying
And I'm
them
not
for their
saying that's
services,
wrong, but
that's
it
what
just
they're gonna do.
it leans into the fact that Bill Cosby did the wrong.
Are you trying to say that people have no morals and ethics? Is that what you're saying? Because we already know that.
Well, with their lawyers. I mean, a lawyer's not. They're not built
Paid liars.
Which leads me back to my point that that's why this is bad for the black community as a whole. Because now,
shit, you can say Al Sharpton is bad for the black community. I agree. Shit, and he's beloved everywhere. And he's a known snitch and all type of stuff.
Other than a bunch of rallies he put together, just show me all the people that Al Sharpton is. Show me all the legacy that is Al Sharpton.
I said when stuff happens, he quick to go in there after it happens.
Talk about it.
And just talk about it.
Donations
he marches with his slick back, with his suits, and he's in the public eye, but ain't doing nothing.
Ain't to get involved with dealings with the mafia, do drugs,
and I'm
try to snitch on people.
Al Sharpton, you just ain't the reverend no more, or you're not honorable in my eyes. You just Al.
Just Al. Exactly. That's the man that I could deal with. But when people say Reverend Al Sharpton,
I'm like, hey, I get up an arm for that one. I don't know about that one, bro.
But that's why this is bad for the black community, because it has put this responsibility back on us, where we've got to have this conversation about. I mean, you said it, but it's such a real thing that you said, like, but how many times and how many victims, which is fucked up about how they've given us this ability to even have that as a conversation, because it was saying if your daughter, your sister, your mother
saying like how many times.
We would want that person minimum in jail, right?
Just in general, like
no questions
multiple
asked.
times.
Whether there's 70 more victims or not.
Let's be honest, bro. And I mean, Keisha don't have to say nothing if she don't want to, but I mean, if you're a woman, I'm pretty sure at some points in your life, people have made some kind of pass or proposition to you. You know what I'm saying? That's sad to say.
It's really inappropriate.
But
now, I can see there's a man that say the exact same thing though. I've been wildly inappropriate, sexually harassed by several women in my life. Okay?
And you didn't report it?
No. But no, and I'm glad you said that. And I'm glad because culturally speaking, that's not what men do. And certainly, and this was definitely when I was much younger, and I'm a grown man.
And some women have in their mind or brainwashed with ain't supposed to be going to the police.
So wait a minute. Right. So a guy walks through the club, he gets groped by said drunk woman,
She wasn't drunk. Bro.
So are we supposed to as men report that, or are we taking that as a W? Like, yeah, she just brushed up for the kid.
But some men just see that, like, they just see the third way out. Like, well, that's inappropriate.
If you have a woman, I would say if you're married, you engaged, you got a girlfriend, you a good man, I would hope, and you you speak up. You speak up, cause I mean.
Right. So, but not to take away from your point, but for sure.
At the same time, single or not,
we know this.
It's the same difference. But they look at you because the man like that stuff.
It happens
you
to
freaky.
But it happens
Let's
to
go.
men.
But for a woman, what if they're testing the waters? Like strippers be, throwing their stuff back. You know what I'm saying? Get in touch. So if you got a thong on in the club.
See, but it's that same statistic,
and I touch you. Not saying that is okay, but what are you asking? What are you asking for?
Statistic, it's 10% of the guys that are fucking it up for 90% for the other 90%. Or the same thing, it's the 10% of women who are inappropriate that are fucking up for women. Exactly. Yeah, these bad actors, because they're repeat offenders, right? Very rarely does someone just do something really fucked up and bad one time and then just walk away from it. Like, no, I'm a good person now. That's usually just kind of their MO. So
no, they do not walk away.
Well, all I'm gonna say is
repeated offenders.
Do brothers get sexually harassed? Yes. Do we report it? No. Should we report it?
Yes.
It depends on the person and your situation.
Okay, so
because you might have somebody that like that shit, and then you might have the good brother who's in a relationship and say, I'm not cool with that. I might not report you, but I'm gonna let you know that that's not cool.
So
don't do that to me again.
Say you have social media, Facebook for one, and people have mutual friends. Some people are friends with families, children, or the family might know they friends of friends, they might be friends and stuff like that. So say a little fast pants messages you, like, oh, I seen you at the barbecue, you look like you can blah, 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 some things inappropriate. She ain't supposed to be saying for the age that she is and the age that I am. Do you report that?
No.
Wait.
Well, how old is she?
That's what I'm saying, underage.
Underage.
I said fast pants, I'm not talking about no grown woman.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Fast pants.
Underage or not, I'm probably not gonna respond, and I'll probably, if we are friends, I'll probably unfriend you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just dead it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then just cut that out right away.
Scenario all day. You back out.
But to think that if that was your child, you would want someone to tell you.
For sure.
You'd hope that you'd have that relationship with whoever that person is.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, check your
yeah, but like for me, like I ain't gonna lie.
Some inappropriate things with some older men. You might get a hold of the wrong man.
I'm Facebook friends with a lot of motherfuckers.
Missing. You're like, I could open.
I'm Facebook friends with a lot of people, and people I don't even know. So that was to happen. I'd be like, shit, I don't even know who that is. Like that's just me. I wouldn't even know who that is.
Why would you even? I'm not gonna be friends with no damn minor to begin with, and then once they do start that type of messaging, I'm just gonna tell their parent because they shouldn't be messaging no adult that type of shit. No way.
I wasn't gonna say I'm not gonna be friends with no minor because I got friends who got kids and they friend me and shit like that, or stuff like that.
Once you cross that line, no, you're not no longer now.
That's why I said I wouldn't respond and I would just unfriend you. Right. That's it.
I'm just speaking on the reporting.
But if I know you and I know your parents,
if I know you,
I'm telling. If I know you, I'm telling. Hey man, your daughter just hit me up on some crazy shit, bro. You need to check her. Or you need to check your daughter, ma'am. Whoever she's living with or whatever. I would report that if I knew you. You know what I'm saying? Dead ass. So all my homies and brothers and sisters out there, you will get a call if y'all kids cross the line with me.
Right. I mean, and I'm thinking if this is happening to you, you should just get offline, because it's not really a real space in the sense that unless you're making money off it, it's all just fun and games.
It's supposed to be.
So second something like that happens, you should probably just delete the app, walk away from it, give it some time, let this person You have no pressures. You have no need in life to be doing that. If that's what the result is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't worth it. I've never seen a video or a picture online that would have me do with a DM like that. So I just can't do it.
Cool on that, bro. I mean,
I'm just saying, there's just a lot of young girls that's out here trying to grow up fast.
Ain't no trying to.
I've been
goddamn internet, man.
I've been a witness
crazy
to it and stuff like that.
Man, look, my daughter is 11. I'm having a heart attack because she's talking about wanting to wear a two-piece bikini to go swim in a swimsuit. I'm like, no. We one piece around here, and you go have some shorts on.
We converted to Muslims, so
we
just talk to your children, please, especially if you have daughters and sons. Talk to your kids. Make them aware of any and every possible situation that can happen when it comes to predators, nasty people, sick individuals.
Please.
Wait a minute. Say that
again. Kids before the internet.
Anybody.
Thank you. Y'all be leaving y'all kids with anybody and don't know their history, their background. We all seen corporate with the hot dogs video and his daughter watching him like hot dogs because he's leaving with his uncle.
I didn't see that.
We watched that together on some hot shit, but we'll get into that later. We watched that together.
Talk to your kids. If you're a man out there breeding, stop breeding if you're not going to take care of them and be a father. Because most of these girls are looking for dads. They're looking for that father figure that you bailed out on, and they're looking for love from the wrong men like you. So talk to your daughters.
There you go.
Stay with your family. I mean, just stay in tune because you never know the person that's sitting in your face to possibly be trying to
raising assholes.
Do some crazy sick stuff.
I do know a lot of my behavior is good and bad. Came directly from my father watching what he was doing. I had to recognize this as when I became an adult, to hone in some of these negative activities. But directly, just to really, how my father, raised me, and the lessons learned. Our kids absorb these things. You know what I'm saying? They take
seeing all these men coming in and out of your bedroom. They see you. They see you.
Mom, who's that? Oh, that's just my friend.
It's Uncle Larry too. Uncle Jim, Uncle Bob, Uncle Jerry was here last week.
But Mom,
why in your room?
Why you telling me to go in the room and Brandon come over? That's a lot of explaining to do. But that's crazy, man.
Well, let's switch notes here just a little bit. Let's talk about this motherfucking show. All right? We touched on it a little bit, but let's talk about 22 years. 22 and a half years, whatever that jazz is about.
Fuck your apology.
Is this justice for George Floyd?
No.
It's 22 years in prison.
I'm going to say it like this. If that's what we got, that's what he get. But he probably going to have different consequences unless he's in, protective custody.
Oh, he's going to be in PC his whole life, rest of his life.
Well, no, we did not get justice.
You'd have to ask not to be in PC in order to not be in PC.
There's no way he's going to put him.
We didn't get justice because he's going to be protected and nobody can get to him. So no.
Did we get justice? I would say yes, and I would say no. I would say yes because we actually got a conviction. We got our first conviction. We got one out of millions. Did he get the time that he deserved? No, he did not.
Life in prison.
I think
Drug
he
dealers
got
get that.
Life in prison with no chance of parole or anything like that. His ass definitely should be in Gen Pop, not in protective custody or stashed away in the hole.
Population. He was in general population in the public when he did this.
Yeah, they just don't put cops in.
That's it. Right.
Not talking about high profile.
Right.
So did y'all hear about the story of the? I just looked at this on something, but I don't even remember where I was. I was watching something and there was like a newscast. It might have been at work, but yeah, it was at work. They was talking about how these police officers beat up this undercover cop that was at a Black
Minnesota,
Black Matters, and there was another white one.
That was the protest for George Floyd.
And we talked about
that. 5 cops got it.
We talked about that.
Like
just crazy.
Like how y'all like these white people even telling this story, talk about something y'all bogus, like y'all ain't even do nothing to the white the protester or nothing. And
that's
if he wasn't a cop, like would he even have got justice? Like no.
Well, and so to me, there's a lesson learned. That, and I hate that had to happen to him, but he got a taste of what we go through. He was undercover. When you're undercover, you're not supposed to disclose your credentials or nothing like that. and he was treated as if he was just a regular one of us.
Yeah, he got.
You know what I'm saying?
He got
Like,
to look at.
He got to look at what goes on the other side of the badge, because he's on the side of the
They was
badge.
his colleagues.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Those were his colleagues
Right.
that took the oath that's supposed to serve and protect, and they whooped your ass. And I hope you recover, you get your justice and all that. But now you see what it's like for one of us on the other side of that badge and how fearful we have to be. And I mean, even to those of our brothers and sisters on the badge. I mean, they don't really help us out like that from what I can see when shit go down. I mean, they be right there sometimes.
They on a contract. You follow these white rules and or
They
you
still
get
got
off
tips
the
on their damn
protect your
side.
superiors.
Exactly. You know
If
what I'm
anything
saying?
happens with you, that's your fucking fault.
They get
surprised.
outlined and they get blackballed.
I haven't read that all the details added to that, but I'd be interested to see if he actually testifies in that particular case against those cops.
He already
He
did.
already did
He
testify against
said
them.
that, I want to say they all in the same precinct too.
I like to hear how his
I could be
experience is
wrong.
now.
He got permanent neck damage.
But you don't hear
Oh,
nothing
he's not
about
even a cop anymore.
No.
then?
This
He got
all the way
permanent
back
neck
to
damage.
the-
He got.
when
I
George
think they gave
First time.
$1 billion settled. With
No, not 1 billion. Cause the Floyd's got like 20-some million.
Or he got maybe 6.
He got like, what do you get, like 10, 12 million? Or something like that.
He got
It wasn't no more than what the Floyd's got. I
Right.
can tell you that for sure.
But yeah.
Because he lived.
They just
you know
paid
what I'm
that
saying?
out like it wasn't nothing.
And that's
And
And
just.
tried to say
I'll
no,
take
no,
your
for
money,
we
but
didn't
at
do
the
nothing
same
wrong.
time, don't try to sweep it
I
under
don't
the
give
rug
a
with a
fuck.
check.
I don't pay you $5 if I don't owe you $5, let alone 28 million bucks. There's just not. That's not happening.
I'm trying to
And
tell
we
you.
all
Certainly
the
not on
country
the back of
need
some
that.
murder.
You
I
giving
feel I
money we
didn't
ain't
commit.
got.
You know what I'm saying?
You giving money we ain't got.
It's just a slap in the face, man, the whole way around, and that's why I think that the
They
show
look at
is
us like
22
that's
years
all.
of
That's all we
justice.
worried about is money.
It's they're parading them out here in front of
That
black
shit
folks,
was
trying to like, look, we got one.
That
Hopefully
shit was a slap in
that
the face.
pacifies everyone's want and needs. Notice, Shoulder got 22 years, but they failed to pass any fucking police reform in the Senate.
Oh, did y'all see?
On the federal level, it's
Back
not
to blue.
happening. They're not going to force
Back to
cops to
blue.
do anything. They're
No.
making sure, what do they call that? That immunity bullshit. That I forget what they call it, but whatever it is, they're making sure every state can, implement those type of rules to protect cops. So they're not going to do anything about this. Darren Chauvin, as far as they're concerned, he's just a sacrificial lamb. He's some nobody in the cog that is white supremacy.
A boy that was here in Iowa that went to jail for being accused of raping a white girl. And then the white girl ends up going to jail off of some crazy stuff. So now they're doing a petition trying to get him out of prison because he didn't do anything. And then the friend of the girl that didn't know him at all basically came out and said like everything I said was a lie because they said they was gonna beat me up type stuff or whatever. So,
We'll see how that goes.
so hopefully he gets out because it's just
Right.
y'all. Some of y'all little shiesty white people. I swear.
But,
I was sick. Like, take your L. He even apologized. He was like, I'm sorry because she got mad because he ain't take her out and he left her at the hotel. So she got mad. He was like, I do apologize for leaving you. I should have took you out and that was selfish of me, but I didn't
That's
touch
what I'm
you.
saying.
I didn't do nothing. And
No
for
need
you
to
to
throw
put
my
me,
life away.
throw my
Brothers.
life away. I got a kid out here.
Brothers,
Like,
be
girl, you
careful
bogus.
because, and I'm not trying to say that all women do this, but there are cases where brothers get put in a position where women yell rape and nothing happens. And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna take the position of the accuser. The guy's gonna go down until he is able to prove said innocence if that did not happen.
And then he had a
You know what
gun.
I'm
I
saying?
guess he held her at gunpoint, but they don't have the gun, and he's in there on a gun charge, and they don't even have the gun.
So
Like,
I'm
I'm
definitely
be
ready.
paid here soon.
I'm
because-
definitely looking forward to the results on that one, but
And if you get vindicated, you still are carrying around
Oh,
the
people
fact that
still-
you were
yeah.
accused of that.
exactly.
Even you can say, oh no, they
Your
could totally tell I didn't do it. Like, yeah, but
reputation,
you were accused
like-
of it.
Exactly.
They were trying to put you
Internet
on the
search is
sex
there
offenders
forever.
list and all types of stuff.
Right.
Like, no.
But it does
Talk to your kids again.
yeah.
Right.
because-
I was literally about to say
Talk
that.
to
Please
your
talk to
kids, your
Yeah, talk to
sons,
your kids,
everybody.
everybody.
Like, tell them it ain't.
Communicate,
It's not all about
communicate,
sex growing up in this world.
Don't be afraid
Bang,
to take time to get to know people.
It's
all right,
talk,
understand
communicate.
person's motivations and wants and
Find some business friends, build you a business, get y'all's credit together. Like, it ain't all about relationships, making babies and families that don't stay together.
Get your coins up. Put yourself in a position to have some generational wealth so you can pass that joint down to your family and make sure that you're able to help get your family a step ahead, because us as black people, black and brown people, have always been 5 steps behind.
Break the cycle. Your
I
parents ain't
think
do
a
for
lot
you,
has
do for
changed
yours.
from our parents' generation to ours, in that there wasn't really, you had every motivation to start off life right away, coming out of high school, trying to find a career, get married, have kids, do the whole nine, because it was the system itself support. You could get a job, you can get some sort of benefits out of that, you move your way up the scale, you take care of the family. But nowadays, it is exponentially harder coming out of high school to make anything what you would consider to be reasonable living, which I noticed that immediately coming out of high school. Like, oh shit, they're not paying me any more money than what I was when I was in high school.
Well, I mean, back then I could say that, but now, I mean, some of these guys, I know a high school kid working at Culver's making $15 an hour.
Right, which is right.
That's more than some people get sitting at a cubicle, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean...
But the difference would be, inflation's much different than when we were,
Big time.
Their kids, or that age. But I think what most of our generation, has learned, a lot of us, because, I tried to, I did get married when I was 20, so I did the status quo thing, and it didn't necessarily work out. And I can tell a large part of that was because I had no experience and nothing in the background that was just going to naturally carry me, a meaningful job where it's going to be a career with a company, or just a bunch of goofy ass jobs for underskilled people, that I could only get at that particular time. And it wasn't until now that I'm about to be 38 that I've got all this time and experience, and I'm making more money, and I'm actually now, like, I just got married, and let me tell you, it felt 10 times righter than any decision I was making at 20 or 21. You know what I'm saying? It comes with time. It comes, especially now.
That is a man. That's a man.
These kids nowadays, I think they're learning quicker than we did. If anything, that it does take time. You don't have to do everything right up.
But don't just kick your kids out either. Just because they're 18, they still babies. Like, you still, if they ain't officially established, they ain't got no job or anything.
Learn how to save, develop discipline.
Help your kids.
No.
But I guess that's why as they're growing up, you're helping them do that. So when it comes to the point to get out, you're already established. Because I'm buying an apartment. You have efficiency over there because I need my shit.
Now, and brothers like yourself who had kids so young, I think actually had an advantage with that particular generation, because we were more centered from our generation than people who are having, young people who are having kids now. I mean, the fucking world's a mess compared to when we were kids. It just is a totally different
They popping
game.
kids out of middle
Yeah,
school.
I mean, because when I was at Roosevelt, I seen incoming freshmen coming in pregnant, you know what I'm saying? And I know that I had my first kid, he was conceived in high school, you know what I'm saying? But when we had graduated, he was born in September, so it was just like, time to man up, you know what I'm saying? Gotta do it. It ain't about you, it's about him, that life he created, you know what I'm saying? So, but you don't have a lot of people that have, I guess, the old school mentality, the old school ways to want to do things the right way. We live in a society where everything's got to be quick, fast, and I ain't got time for this and time for that, so you know what I'm saying? But do I have hope for the younger generation? You got to, because they're gonna want us to go be taking over.
They're gonna be taking care of us.
They're gonna get equipped.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, as time changes, because now it's getting into everybody starting businesses, boutiques and lashes. So everybody's trying to be one up, like, oh, I got a business. So everybody I think the younger generation is gonna start, change it. I think they're gonna flip it, like, oh no, I gotta have a job, I gotta have this, I gotta have some money, I'm gonna have my own place, because if you don't have these things, I mean, what are you doing with yourself, and how they gonna look at you? So it is about what people think, but it isn't. But it's still like, why wouldn't you want to get established to have your own, your everything? You don't have a car, you going depending on a woman, and you don't even want to be there, and you know, just leeching off.
Just you're no good to nobody if you
Yeah.
don't know who you are.
Get your,
I think
stuff
that's
in order.
very wise words, and I think we should go ahead and end it off of that. You know, it feels good to be in the new studio.
Absolutely, yeah, if you didn't notice.
I'm glad that
Give
we
them a
was able
tour.
to come together as a SquadKast family. We got a new day that we film and do the things now. No more Saturdays for you guys, so we're filming on Thursdays, and you know, depending on who's doing it, Chef gonna drop whatever he drops, and then I'll drop it as soon as I can for you guys to keep the content rolling. But this was great. We appreciate you guys. Keep subscribing and tuning in with us. We're definitely gonna be tuning in with y'all. Peace to the family.
Deuces.
Make sure you're watching and staying
Like,
tuned.
Oh, wait a minute.
The sit down
Yup.
with the godmother
Yup.
is coming.
I think I forgot to put on deodorant, guys. I apologize. I just
I
realized.
mean, mom's sweating.
The sit
but
down with the
the
godmother.
sit down with the godmother is coming in here sooner
Yup.
than we think.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Tap in.
Tap
Make sure you
in.
subscribe to the
Is that gonna be on your channel or we're gonna put
Jump
that on
Car
SquadKast?
Gang. I'm gonna post it on mine, but it's gonna
Okay.
be on the SquadKast.
We can run it through. We can run it on both.
We're gonna run it everywhere. We get our
Got
reviews, you know
power.
what I'm saying? So
Okay.
subscribe, stay tuned, support your people, and we'll catch you next
We
time.
love y'all.
Take it easy.